What time is it?
Moments of Inspiration with Zoe.
Hey fam, this is Zoe and it's another episode of Moments of Inspiration, hanging out here on a nice fall day in the Queen City, Charlotte, North Carolina. And once again, I trust that this will be a blessing to you. Got a quick short story for you, another one, maybe a little humorous, but there is a point to the madness, so I want you to check it out. There was a story of a small Italian town. And this dates back hundreds of years. And there was a small businessman who had a major debt that he owed to a loan shark. And so this particular loan shark, he lacked character. And from what the story says, he was a very unattractive man. So he offered the businessman a deal to wipe out his debt. And the deal was that if he would let him marry his daughter, he would forgive the debt. So they were pretty disgusted at the proposal, needless to say, but this is how it would work. The loan shark would get a bag and put 2 pebbles in it. He would put 2 pebbles in the bag. One was white and one was black. The white one would, he would wipe out the debt and the daughter would not have to marry him. The black one, the daughter would have to marry him and he would wipe out the debt. So those were the proposal that he submitted to them. And so while they were standing in the path of the pebbles in the garden, he picked up 2 pebbles and the daughter noticed something that was pretty disturbing. When he picked up the pebbles, they were 2 black pebbles. So in other words, he was rigging the results. He was cheating. He was trying to make sure he was able to marry this young lady. And so with that being said, the daughter noticed that and she had 3 options in this particular scenario. One, she could refuse to pick the pebbles and her dad would still be in debt. He would still owe the money to the loan shark. Number 2, she could have taken out both of the pebbles and totally exposed him, and in that one her father still would owe the debt as well. Number 3, she could just pick a pebble and sacrifice herself for her father's freedom. So those were different options that she had, and that's a pretty tough option, to be honest with you. And I know there's some of you out there like, my dad would have been in debt for life. There's no way I would have did that. I hear you, but hear the story through, okay? There's a method to the madness here. And so what she did, this was her solution. She thought about it, she didn't get uptight, and this is what she came up with. She picked a pebble from the bag and she accidentally dropped the pebble into the other pebbles that were on the ground. And she was like, oh man, forgive me, I'm so clumsy. Well, you know what? If you look into the bag for the color that's left, then you'll be able to tell which color was picked. So in other words, she outsmarted him. And the pebble that was left was obviously the black pebble because he picked 2 black pebbles. He cheated, but he had to play along as if the pebble was white that she picked because he didn't want to be exposed, and her father's debt was able to be cleared without her sacrificing herself and without her exposing the loan shark. And so she got what she needed without sacrificing herself. What am I trying to tell you? Well, you see this? These are a set of keys. And in life, there are keys to life. And with that being said, keys are symbolic of authority. They're symbolic of permission. They're symbolic of allowing you to enter into a certain place or driving a car. And in our world of technology, we also have PIN numbers and passwords. But in any event, those things will allow you, give you permission, give you a right to be able to participate, to enter, and to have access to certain things. And so in life, we have keys to life. And one of those keys is patience. That's right, patience. And patience doesn't mean that you're being abused and that you're being taken advantage of. But what patience does mean is that you allow yourself some time to think and think outside of the box and have creative thinking. That's what she did. She was able to think creatively in that situation, even though somebody wasn't following the rules. And so what I'm here to tell you, the moral to that story is, it's always possible to overcome a tough situation. It's always possible to overcome some type of situation where it's not your fault. When you don't give in that your only options are what you think you have to pick from. In other words, those 3 options that I gave you that she had to choose from, because she thought through it clearly and thoroughly, she figured out those were not her only options. There was another option, and she was able to take that option and clear her father's debt. And so it is with us. There are situations that happen in life, and you have to be able to think clearly and not through a knee-jerk reaction and act out of your emotions. There are 2 scriptures I have here. Proverbs 14:29. People with understanding control their anger. A hot temper shows great foolishness. You heard that? And that's what we don't want to be involved in. Even if something happens that's not your fault, when you operate out of your emotions, 9 times out of 10, the action we do will be out of foolishness. And so we don't want that, okay? The second one I have here is Galatians 6:9, and it says this: let us not become weary in doing good, for in due season we will reap if we don't give up. Once again, don't grow weary in doing good, for in due season we will reap if we don't give up. Hey, I love you so much. I want us to be energized and charged up for this next week. And remember to keep doing the right thing. Don't forget that something good is going to happen to you. Enjoy the rest of your week. Peace.
Moments of Inspiration with Zoe.